What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Unparalleled Universe for another action figure review, and today we're taking a look at the brand new Mezco 112 Collective Black Panther figure, and I'm super excited about this guy. It's probably one of my most anticipated figures for 2019, alongside the Mezco Blade and the Mafex comic book Spider-Man, so I'm really excited about this guy. So let's get right into it, starting with the packaging. It's your typical huge, big Mezco box. It does have some cool Black Panther artwork here in the front, and then I like how the background kind of looks like the same texture as his costume. Very cool. And then on the side of the box we get a Black Panther logo. On the back we get a look at the figure itself, all the accessories that he comes with, and of course some promo shots. So enough of the box, let's look at the figure. So here's King T'Challa out of the box, and I will say that this figure was making me really nervous because I was very excited about it. I was all hyped up and I was kind of scared that I was going to be disappointed, and I'm very happy and relieved to say that that's not the case. I think that Mezco did a really good job with it. I especially like what they did with the suit. I thought that they were going to go the Batman versus Superman route with the suit. I thought it was going to be a more spongy type of material. That's the best way that I could describe it. The Superman figure had like a weird overlay on his costume, and I thought that they were going to go that route with this Black Panther, but they didn't. The best way that I could describe this suit is that it's very similar to the tactical suit Punisher, and I think that's a good thing. It works perfect for Black Panther, and I love that that it has like all this texture on it and stuff like that. It has a bunch of lines. It looks very movie accurate. And I love what they did here. It's really, really nice. Let's take a look at it here. All of it looks very clean and cool. And one thing I really like that they did is that there's a texture and a design on the cloth material or on the soft goods aspect of the figure, but it carries over to the sculpted areas. As you can see, the lower leg sculpted area has like the same type of texture as the soft goods area. I think that's really cool, and it makes it blend in very, very nice. So look at that, that's very cool. And the little thing around his waist is like soft plastic, but it's attached. It doesn't feel like it's gonna come off or anything. And it's two different pieces. And some of the stitching in the back isn't the prettiest thing ever, but I mean, it's not horrible, and it's in the back of the figure, so it doesn't matter too much. It does bunch up a little bit right in here, as you could see. It's a little tough to see, but it does bunch up a little bit right there where the stitching is, but it's not horrible or anything. And then his neck area is plastic. And what I do like what they did with the necklace is the necklace is attached to the plastic part of the neck area, so you don't have to worry about it like flopping around or anything like that or coming off. It just looks very good. It's attached to his neck right there. And I think that's very, very cool. But yeah, I'd say the only thing that kind of stands out to me on this figure as a negative is I feel like his head is just a little too big. Only just a little bit. And actually, the more that I look at it and mess with it, I notice it less and less. But right out of the box, I was like, oh man, his head looks a little big. But it kind of makes sense because at the beginning of the movie, of the Black Panther movie, he didn't have the nanotech suit. He just had his regular suit, and his regular suit had a helmet. And same thing in Civil War, or like a mask helmet kind of thing. But either way, it was something over a guy's face. It wasn't like, you know, like a symbiotic type of thing like it became later in the movie. So with that in mind, I'm really okay with how it looks. But yeah, I think the face sculpt looks really good. All the details are there. That was one thing that I thought was going to bug me about the head. I didn't think I'd like it, but in hand, it looks amazing. I love the way it looks. And I just noticed this, but it has like a cat-like cat-like type of look right there in his face, in the mouth area. That's awesome. I don't know if that's on all the designs or not. I've never noticed it before, but it's really apparent right there, so that's very cool. But yeah, the overall look and design of this thing is awesome, and I really like this material. When I first got the Tactical Suit Punisher figure, I wasn't into it, and it really grew on me. And with my Tactical Suit Punisher, I've been able to keep him posed with his arm like this, you know, without it sticking together or getting damaged or anything. So I'm sure that's going to be the case with Black Panther. You're probably going to want to prevent just keeping him in one pose for too long because you don't want this stuff to get messed up. But for the most part, my Punisher figure has kind of held up really good, so that makes me optimistic about this Black Panther. And yeah, I just love the way this thing looks. There's not much to it, you know, but they put everything in there that they needed to. So I do love the design of this thing. And I like that these lines feel like movie accurate. When I was looking at pictures of Black Panther to see how accurate this thing really was, the design or the layout of these lines is pretty accurate. Like they were going for something. It's not just random lines everywhere, you know? So yeah, the overall look and design of this figure is really, really nice. And here's a closer look at the sculpt work on the forearms, and all of it looks very nice. You can see all the details in there. I like that the fingertips have silver on the nails. I think that looks awesome. Then you have some silver details in here. And yeah, this looks really good. Same thing for the lower legs. You have a lot of nice sculpted texture in there that looks really good. And then you have some silver on the toenails. And now for the accessories, like most Mezco figures, he has a bunch of different pairs of hands, including a pair of fists. And then he has a set of opened, I guess you could say kind of relaxed hands. Then of course he has some open claw hands. And then last but not least, he has a set of gripping hands that he could use to hold on to his spear and his shield. And let's take a closer look at these weapons, starting off with the shield. This thing is very cool. It has like a hand-painted type of feel to it. It looks very nice. There's a lot of nice detail in there. And there is sculpted detail too that you could feel when you touch it. And then you've got the silver ball in the middle and then the staff that goes along the back. One thing that kind of sucks about this thing is it's very hard to get him to hold it. You're not really able to just stick his hand through these straps there and get his gripping hand onto this strap. So you gotta, what I did was I took the hand off the figure and then put it on the strap first and then stuck the arm through there and then just plugged it in. But even that's a little difficult because then you start pushing around the material and things like that. So you need to be very careful when you're taking this thing on and off. But once you get it on there, it is very cool. I do like it a lot. And then we have this little spear dagger type of thing that looks really cool. I like the details on the handle there. That's really, really nice. A lot of attention to detail on this thing. And it doesn't feel like it'll snap or anything. I do wish that the blade had like more of a metallic look, but it's okay. It still looks very, very cool. And then as always, we have the Mezco stand that looks pretty nice. You've got Black Panther right there in the center, Marvel. You have the peg that the figure could stand on, or you could put them on the articulated posing arm. But it does look very nice. I personally don't use these things too much, but they do look very cool. And he does come with two different heads. First off, we have the regular masked Black Panther head. And then we have the unmasked T'Challa head. And I know a lot of people are saying that this face sculpt is no good, but I completely disagree. I think they did a really good job with it. And from some angles, it looks perfect. I would say that it's spot on. And from some other angles, it maybe looks a little inaccurate. But for the most part, I think it gets the job done. And this is probably one of the best unmasked face sculpts that we've seen from Mezco. I think this looks great. I love the way that the eyes have that like reflective type of look to it. I think maybe if the facial hair was a little bit longer, maybe it would make it look a little more accurate. I'm not sure what it is that's making people say that it doesn't look like Chadwick Boseman. I think it captures the look perfectly, so I'm very happy with this head sculpt. Like, I'd say straight on, it looks pretty damn good. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. You guys think this face sculpt looks good or no? And just in case anyone's curious, I got a couple head swaps I wanted to show you. So here's the Mezco Black Panther with the head from the Black Panther from the Okoye Build-A-Figure wave. And it doesn't plug into it or anything. The ball joint is a little too small, but you could probably get some blue tack or something like that and put it on there. I think that actually looks kind of cool, but what looks even cooler is throwing the Killmonger head on there. Same kind of thing. It's not going to plug in or anything, but it does look pretty cool. You could probably put together a pretty easy Killmonger in his Black Panther suit. Maybe if you just throw some gold highlights on there somewhere, that'd probably look pretty cool. And this head sculpt is amazing. So this thing looks awesome. It does sit a little low, but if you were to put the tack, maybe it would sit like at the appropriate height. But yeah, I think that kind of looks pretty good. And then let's see, I have one more. Here's the Mezco figure with the Civil War Black Panther head. And that looks a little small, but it does kind of look, damn, that looks pretty awesome actually. Check that out. I like the way that looks a lot. And the Mezco unmasked head can't really fit on any of the Marvel Legends bodies because the ball joint on the bodies is just a little too big. But if you wanted to, just for like a picture or something, you could push that ball joint down and just have the head sitting on there. But it's a little too big either way. You could probably make something work if you wanted to, but I don't know. I think it kind of works this way a little bit better. So from that angle, it doesn't look good at all, but straightforward, I think that looks pretty cool. And now for a bunch of size comparisons. Here he is next to the Marvel Legends Civil War Black Panther and the Marvel Legends Okoye Build-A-Figure Wave Black Panther. And as you could see, he's pretty close to the size of a Marvel Legends figure, which is a little bit abnormal for Mezco. Usually they run a little bit bigger. And then now here we have him with the Marvel Legends Infinity War Captain America and the Marvel Legends Okoye Build-A-Figure. And now here we have him with the Marvel Legends Killmonger and Marvel Legends Agent Ross. And as always, we have the Marvel Legends Bucky Cap and Marvel Legends Pizza Spider-Man. And now here we have him with the SH Figure Arts Age of Ultron Iron Man and the Marvel Legends Sasquatch Wave Deadpool. And now here he is with the Mezco 112 Collective Homemade Suit Spider-Man and the Mezco 112 Collective Ragnarok Thor. And yeah, having these three together, I'm not sure how good they scale with each other. I feel like Spider-Man should be a little bit shorter compared to T'Challa, but I kind of like how he looks next to Thor. So I don't know, it's kind of strange. I guess I'd say out of these three, it seems like Spider-Man is just a little too big. The other two kind of work good together, but he looks a little taller than he should. But yeah, I think overall they look pretty good together. And now here we have Black Panther alongside the Mezco Symbiote Suit Spider-Man and the Mezco Special Ops Punisher. And for the final comparison, here's the Mezco Black Panther alongside the Marvel Legends Walmart exclusive Black Panther and the SH Figure Arts Civil War Black Panther. Okay, so now for the articulation. I think they did a pretty good job with it. There's a lot of different points in there. There are some poses that are kind of hard to get him into that I wish were a little bit easier, but for the most part, I think the articulation is pretty nice. So let's take a look here. His head is able to move side to side. You've got some tilt action going that looks pretty good. You could get him to look up to about there. Get him to look down to right there. And you could just kind of get it to go in all kinds of different directions. So the head is pretty good. I do wish that he could look straight up a little bit better, but that's about as far as it goes. And then for the torso, he has the double jointed Mezco torso joint situation where you have movement at the mid torso and at the waist. And using both of them, you get some pretty decent crunch. Check it out. Not too bad at all. Suppose it could be a little bit better, but I think it's okay there. And then you get some side to side. Side to side's a little tight, but it's definitely in there. And then you get some twist. Using both of them together, you could get that to go pretty good. And then for his arms, he does have the shoulder swivel, but it's slight. I don't know why they make it so restricted. If they're going to have the joint there, I don't know why they don't make it more useful, because there's definitely some kind of swivel joint in there. You just don't get too much movement out of it. And I really wish it could, because then it would make it a little bit easier to get his arms across his chest so that you could do the Wakanda Forever pose. Because with some work you could get it there, but it's a little bit more difficult than I would like. I wish it was a little easier to get him into that pose, because that's a big pose from the movie. So it'd be nice if he could get into that pose a little easier. But anyways, aside from that, the shoulder joint's pretty good. You could get his arms to, let's see how high we could get them. You could get his arms to about right there. Maybe a little bit higher. I'm just a little bit nervous. I really don't want to rip this stuff because it looks very nice. And but yeah, you know, for the most part, it's not too restricted. It's pretty good. And then you could come out to the side. You have the upper bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. You have a swivel at the wrist and a hinge at the wrist. And then for the legs, I mean, I guess it'd be kind of tough to get him to do the splits, but you can kick his leg all the way out to the side. And maybe you could get him to do the splits if you shift around the material. But yeah, you get some decent movement out of the legs there. They could come forward to about right there. So pretty good for kicking. You could come back to about there. And then you have the upper thigh swivel, double jointed knee. There's no boot swivel or anything, but you do have a swivel at the foot that works really good. And you could get his feet going forward to there, come up to right there. And then of course you get some nice ankle rocking action. So pretty good. I mean, like I said, I think the shoulders are a little bit restricted. I wish they were a little bit better, but at least there's some kind of swivel. So for the most part, I'm happy with the articulation on this figure. Okay, so overall, I'm really happy with this figure, which is a huge relief to say because I was getting a little nervous when I saw some of the early in-hand pictures of this figure. But now that I have it in my hands, I'm very happy to say that he is an awesome figure. They did a really good job with it. I love what they did with the suit. There's a lot of different ways they could have gone with it, and I think what they did was very good. And I feel like it's going to last. I don't feel like it's going to rip or mess up or anything like that. I've been messing with this figure a lot since I opened it, and I've had no fear of damaging the costume. So that's a big plus when it comes to Mezco, because a lot of times the figures are really nice, but I personally worry about damaging them when I'm messing with them, and that's not the case with Black Panther. So I'm very excited about that. I think all the accessories that he comes with are very cool. I love the unmasked head sculpt. I know some people say that it doesn't look good, but to me it does. I think they did a good job with it, and I really like the masked head sculpt too, because even though the mouth area kind of looks like a cat, which is kind of funny when you think about it. I think it comes across really cool with this figure. So I'm overall just very happy about this guy. And like I said, that's a huge relief because I was kind of setting myself up to be disappointed, and that would have sucked. So I'm happy to see that that's not the case. And I highly suggest picking this figure up if you're a big Black Panther fan. I think that you'll be happy with it. Right now, it's probably my favorite 6-inch Black Panther movie figure. But we'll see when the Mafex comes out whether or not that changes. I think that's going to be cool to compare those two figures because as much as I like this one, I think that Mafex one is going to be awesome too. So I can't wait to have them side by side. But anyways, I think that's it. So thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. And before I get out of here, I want to give a huge shout out to Sculptomotoys for sending this figure out to me so fast. I think that they just received them on Saturday and they're on the East Coast and they shipped it out and had it to me by Monday on the West Coast. So that is awesome. So I highly suggest shopping with Sculptomotoys if you don't already. I'll leave a link in the description below to their site and all that good stuff. They're trusted sellers, awesome guys, so really good stuff. But anyways, that's it. Thank you very much. Peace.